Kemi and Kosi were twins, but you wouldn't know it by looking at them. Kosi's skin had a rich dark complexion that resembled the shades of earth surrounding their village, while her twin Kemi glowed with a contrasting light complexion as if she was kissed by the sun itself. They were different in form as well. Kemi had a rounder and curvier figure, while Kosi was as slender as a palm swaying in the wind. However, the most notorious thing about them was how they behaved. The twins who were once inseparable were now never seen together and kept a bitter malice for as long as the village could remember. For this reason, they were known as the twins who never said good morning to each other. Yet, this wasn't always their story. When Kemi and Kosi were born, they were identical, bubbly, and inseparable twins who wandered the village with boundless energy, causing joy and mischief wherever they found themselves. However, their antics were not always met with fondness by the villagers. One time, they played wildly and ended up in the kitchen of Mama Binta, the village akra seller, and made a nasty mess. Mama Binta was furious. She scolded and flogged them with a small stick trying to correct them. But the twins became upset and decided to teach her a lesson. They wielded their psychic powers to cast a spell on her. They caused the akra she was cooking to remain uncooked and the hand she used to flog them to ache and swell. Mama Binta dismissed their talk as childish nonsense until several hours passed and the akra she was cooking was still a watery slurry with no signs of it getting set. She was shocked and still trying to understand what was happening when she felt a sharp pain in her right arm. "Oh, what have I gotten myself into with these twins?" she wailed in pain. She quickly went to plead with the twins to undo the curse, but the children refused until she gave them money. Such were the complexities of their childhood, but as they grew, they also outgrew those kinds of mischiefs. When the twins turned 15, a sharp difference began to show in their appearance. While Kemi remained unchanged, vibrant, and full of life, Kosi began to waste away. Her complexion started darkening unnaturally, and she lost so much weight that she began to look emaciated. This sudden transformation brought a lot of whispers, stares, and unsolicited comments from friends, neighbors, and strangers. People were quick to point out Kosi's emaciated physique and her unusual darkness. "Are you sure you are twins?" people would exclaim with eyes darting between them. "You don't look alike at all." "Oh, Kemi, why did you cheat your sister like this?" Such were the kinds of words they were always accosted with. When Kemi noticed how much the comments hurt her twin sister, she began to fight back. She would talk back at anyone who dared to speak ill of her sister. One day, a woman in the market stopped them both and said, "I heard you are twins, is it true?" They said yes in agreement. Then the woman said, "I think Kosi came out first because it seems God used you to wash the womb so that Kemi can look this beautiful." Kemi was so angry that you could almost see the steam coming out from her head. Then she retorted, "I thought you were supposed to be an elder, but it seems the gods that give elders wisdom skipped you for a reason. You should be ashamed of yourself for speaking to us in a way that you would not speak to your own children." Kosi's words wiped the smile off the woman's face and she bowed her head in shame while the twins left her presence. Kosi's transformation and the challenges that came with it made the twins closer than ever as Kemi felt the need to look out for her sister, while Kosi in return was happy and grateful that her sister always had her back whenever she was too overwhelmed to speak. To avoid the insensitive comments of others, the twins spent a lot of time alone and together, away from the harsh whispers of the village, doing things they loved. While Kosi could drum, Kemi had a dream of becoming an established musician. She had an amazing voice, and they would often craft music that made anyone passing by forget the troubles of life and simply savor the moment. "You sing so well, Kemi. I pray your dreams of becoming a popular musician come true," Kosi would often say every time they sang. "I pray so too. "There is nothing I want more in the world, and I would give anything to see it happen," Kemi would reply. "Don't worry, the opportunity will come." Such were the words Kosi used to reassure her sister. It wasn't only the twins that were weighed down by Kosi's sudden transformation. Their parents, in worry and desperation, sought the intervention of the village medicine man, who revealed that Kemi was the cause of her sister's mysterious ill luck. He announced that she had squeezed and swallowed some of Kosi's beauty and vitality while they were still in their mother's womb, and that all that was happening now was a manifestation of that. He further added that there was nothing that could be done about it now, and Kosi was doomed to live like that forever. Kemi's whole body felt cold and she couldn't move. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. She struggled to understand if what she had just heard was real or she was having a bad dream. She looked at her sister Kosi, who was standing across her. Her eyes were filled with tears and red with anger. She seemed to also be struggling with what she had just heard, and then she blurted out in deep hurt. "So all this while you've pretended to love me for your wicked and selfish reasons. What have I ever done to you to deserve this, Kemi?" Kemi tried to plead with her sister and explained that she had no idea what the medicine man was talking about. But all her protests and earnest declaration of innocence fell on deaf ears. Kosi was too hot to listen. Instead, she left their presence and didn't speak to anyone for days. Despite Kosi's ripoff, Kemi would not give up on her sister. Day by day, she tried every means possible to get close to her sister, but nothing worked. In fact, it only seemed to make Kosi angrier, who in turn hurled hurtful words at her. Until one fateful day when Kosi asked her sister to never speak to her again. In anger, her sister agreed, and they both swore an oath to never speak to each other again, and whoever broke the oath would lose something they loved so much. They both pricked their thumbs and sealed the oath with a blood covenant in blinding rage, without thinking of whatever consequences their actions might have on them in the future. The twins continued their lives separately until one day a magician came to the village and crowds trooped to witness his mystical powers. The magician had a magic mirror which showed how a person could achieve his deepest desire. Kosi looked into the mirror and saw herself normal again. She looked healthy, her skin perfect and radiant. She lived a happy life free of insults and ridicule and was admired by all. All she had to do to achieve this was to take a swim in the forbidden sacred river at midnight. Kemi looked into the mirror and saw herself as a renowned musician whose talents took her to elegant stages in various kingdoms. She was proud and happy and sank her heart away, and the mirror revealed that the path to achieve this was to get a feather from the all-knowing peacock in the heart of the dangerous village forest. The task was a challenging one, but not only did the twins have to go alone to the most fearsome places known to the village, but they also had to do it before dawn of the second day, or their fates would be sealed forever. The next day, the twins set out on separate paths to reclaim their destinies. As Kemi walked through the perilous village forest, every step she took made the hair on her body stand on end, especially as she remembered village tales of people that mysteriously went missing in the forest at night. But she quickly encouraged herself by keeping her mind on all the places she would go when she became famous, and how she would provide for her parents who were now getting old. "I wonder what else the all-knowing peacock can tell me," she thought as she carefully made her way through the forest. The day turned dark quickly with no signs of the all-knowing peacock. Kemi was beginning to wonder if she had made the right decision by coming to the forest. What if the six-headed lion eats me, or the evil night spirit turns me into a goat? Many thoughts kept coming to her mind, but just then she noticed something struggling in the mud and trapped by bushes. It was a tiny helpless rabbit. "Help me," it cried out. "I am injured. Please do not leave me here, or the animals will eat me up. I just need to get to the stream." Even though she knew that helping the rabbit may interfere with her journey, Kemi still felt pity for the rabbit and she picked it up, cleaned it, and carried it along with her. When she got to the stream, she laid it down to clean up in the water and something miraculous happened. As the rabbit stepped into the water, it transformed into a beautiful golden big peacock, the all-knowing peacock whom she was seeking. Kemi was so shocked she could hardly move and looked at the majestic bird in awe. "You have proven yourself worthy of my help. Ask for whatever it is that has brought you to the heart of the perilous forest," the peacock said. "I want to be a star, a renowned and successful singer whose influence extends to faraway kingdoms," Kemi said. The peacock gave Kemi one of its golden feathers along with a strict instruction. "The hairs on this feather will fall off one by one as you make your way out of the forest. Each time a hair falls, it will fall with part of your voice and the last hair will fall at dawn. But if you make it out of the forest before the last hair falls and blow whatever is left so that the wind carries it away, it will take your voice and your influence to faraway kingdoms and make you unstoppable." Because of Kemi's kindness, the peacock offered her the opportunity to ask one more question. Kemi asked to know if it was true that she was responsible for her sister's plight. The peacock revealed that her sister's plight was caused by someone who'd laid a curse on her when they were still little for something mean that she did. "Who can that be?" Kemi asked. The peacock replied, "Do you remember Mama Binta, the village Akura seller whose kitchen you tore up when you were little?" The peacock revealed that Mama Binta had laid a curse on her sister because when she pleaded for the kids to break the spell, Kemi agreed, but Kosi insisted on collecting money, which forced Mama Binta to give them the only money she had. Through her suffering, she went to the river and invoked the river spirits to lay a curse on Kosi, and that if Kosi goes back to the river, she will be consumed by the water spirits, as the water is filled with rage for her and will only heal her if Mama Binta grants her forgiveness. "No, my sister is in danger. I must stop her from reaching the forbidden river," Kemi said. But the peacock cautioned Kemi from going and reminded her about the oath she took about not speaking first to her sister or else she would lose her life or part of her that was very important. Kemi was confused. She wanted to save her sister, but that may come at the price of losing her life too. "I can't know this and allow my sister to walk into her death. I must help my sister no matter what happens." Luck was not on Kemi's side as the forbidden river was in the inner part of the forest. As soon as she embarked on the journey, a hair from the feather the peacock gave her fell to the ground and vanished immediately. Kemi remembered that the clock was ticking and started to run faster and faster into the forest with every strength she could muster. Meanwhile, Kosi, her sister, was approaching the forbidden river and started getting scared. She suddenly remembered her twin sister and the beautiful memories they had. She missed her and wished she was standing by her side just like old times. But she suddenly gathered courage to take the bold step into the forbidden river, thinking, "It's just one plunge and I'll have my life back." But just then, she heard a familiar voice calling out ferociously from behind her, "Kosi, don't." Kosi was startled and happy at the same time. She was happy she wasn't alone, and it was the first time in years that she had heard her sister call her name, and it made her realize just how much she missed her. She sprang to her feet in the direction of her sister, and all she wanted at that moment was to feel the warm hug of her sister's embrace. But something startled Kemi. She saw Kosi wobbling like a toddler who was just learning how to walk. Her face riddled with confusion and worry. Kosi ran faster to embrace her sister just before she fell to the ground. "What is going on, Kemi? Why are you falling? Are you hurt?" Kosi asked, shaking with worry and concern in her voice. "I am happy to see you, Kosi. I thought I had lost you to water spirits." Kemi went on to explain everything the all-knowing peacock revealed to her. "We must make our way to the village at once and find Mama Binta." "Help me up," Kemi said. Kosi tried and tried, but she couldn't help her sister up. Kemi's legs were heavy and wobbly and she couldn't get up. They were both confused as to why she couldn't use her legs until Kosi recalled the words of the all-knowing peacock. Like a pile of bricks it hit her. Kemi had lost the use of her legs as a result of breaking the oath by talking to her sister. They hugged each other and cried, regretting their actions, and just then another hair from the peacock feather fell to the ground and vanished. "Quickly, we don't have much time left," Kosi said as she strapped Kemi to her back and they began to make their way to the village in a race against time. It had been a long, difficult walk and their anticipation heightened when they could see their village in the distance. They began to giggle with excitement. "Very soon you will blow the feather and become a star, then we will see Mama Binta and make it back to the river and all our dreams will come true." But just before they could make it, the last hair on the peacock feather fell to the ground and vanished. "The feather is gone," Kemi exclaimed in horror. Kosi felt the air become ice cold and her arms felt weak. Kemi knew how much becoming a singer meant to her sister, and not only had she lost that dream in the process of trying to save her, but she had also lost the use of her legs and her mesmerizing voice. Kosi felt overwhelmed with guilt and sorrow. They stopped and wept like babies. Just like that, they had not only missed their dreams but lost important aspects of their lives. "If only we didn't let things get in between us," they said. At that moment, they realized how much they truly loved and looked out for each other and promised to never let anyone or anything get in between them ever again. As they cried in each other's arms, their act of true love and sacrifice touched the all-knowing peacock, who flew over them releasing some golden hairs from his feathers, making Kemi able to walk again. Overjoyed, they ran as fast as their legs could take them into the village, and the first thing they did was locate the house of Mama Binta and asked for forgiveness. As soon as she forgave them, Kosi's body weight dramatically improved, but her complexion was not restored and neither was Kemi's voice. But they were still grateful to have each other back in their lives, and the love and support they shared was enough for them. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day as they loved and supported each other no matter what life brought their way. The tale of the twins became a tale told again and again as a reminder that true love, whether found in the bonds of family or friendship, possesses the power to overcome the darkest times and the deepest of divides.